In this video, I'm going to break down for you top 4 risks associated with power purchase agreement of open access solar. Power purchase agreement is a key agreement that you enter into while procuring a power and paying for it. You need to know the key risks so that you can sign the PPA confidently and then thus achieve your renewable energy goals and save huge amount of money through renewable energy solutions. So let's dive into it and understand what are those top 4 risks and what are the mitigations also against those risks so that you can capture that in the PPA while you are signing it. So out of these 4, the first risk is reduction in DISCOM tariff. See, one of the most important premises why you are signing this PPA is savings. Kitna paisa bach raha hai? And savings against what? Against the power that you are buying from DISCOM. Let's say today the DISCOM tariff is 7.5, open access power is 5 rupees, you are saving 2.5 rupees. That's why you are signing this PPA. But what happens if tomorrow's DISCOM tariff also reduces to 5 rupees, open access solar is also at 5 rupees, and you're not saving the money? What will you do in that situation? So this is the biggest risk that you should be aware of, and according to me, the biggest mitigation that you should capture while signing a PPA is to negotiate a minimum saving guarantee clause with the developer, wherein it gives you protection in any scenario, which gives you a minimum savings at any point of time during the contract period. So you should be aware of this and negotiate a healthy PPA. The second biggest risk that corporate energy consumers should be aware of while signing a long-term PPA is the reduction in their consumption profile. So let me tell you important thing, and I'm telling you with the experience by serving over 1,000 customers across last 5 years, that most of the consumers sign a PPA without studying their consumption profile. So let me break a news for you, my friend. You're getting into a take or pay contract in the PPA, and if you're not studying your consumption profile for today, forecasting it, studying it for at a 15-minute level, you'll end up for a disaster. So it is important that you study your consumption profile, mitigate this risk of reduction in the consumption profile. Otherwise, you will either end up paying for the power that you are not consuming, or you end up paying much lesser power that you can actually take. And in both the scenarios, you are losing billions on the table. So this brings me to the third major risk, which is the change in the generation profile of renewable energy sources. See, studying consumption profile for next 5 to 10 years is important, and similarly it is equally important for you to study the generation profile also, because these are renewable energy sources and it depends upon the nature how much power that wind and solar will generate, whether they will generate or not generate. Don't get into a mindset कि धूप तो हमेशा रहेगी, power source तो होता रहेगा. Let me break a news for you. It might not happen. So this is a risk, which is a huge risk in the PPA, because your consumption, your savings is actually depending upon how much generation is happening. So the biggest mitigation that you should sign up while signing the PPA is always negotiate a assured generation clause, which means irrespective of धूप रहेगा, wind रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा, you should get a minimum assured generation from the developer from their plant. So that is super critical for you to achieve your cost saving goals and also renewable energy goals. So this brings me to the last important critical risk, the fourth critical risk while signing a long-term PPA is, what if my business shut down? See, I know this is a tough thing to write, and then let me tell you, while I was writing this on the board, emotionally, I as a business owner was also feeling shutting down business, what I'm writing on the board. But let me tell you, this is a reality. This is a fact. The business life cycle has gone down. And when you're entering into a long-term PPA, 15-year, 20-year, this is a real risk, whether you agree or not agree. So when you are signing a long-term PPA, be aware of this risk. The reason could be anything, could be demand, could be supply, could be anything, but you should definitely be aware of this risk. And the biggest mitigation that you should sign up while signing the PPA is a business exigency clause, wherein by giving certain notice period, let's say 12 months, 15 months, 20 months, I don't know, you get an option to actually exit out of the contract without any paying penalty. Because on one side, the business is struggling and that's why it is shutting down. And parallel, you are paying huge penalties while entering into a long-term contract. So this is must to negotiate clause in such kind of eventualities. So this sums up the top 4 risks associated with the open access PPA. But let me tell you, there are 100 plus benefits as well. And against each benefit, there are 10 risks against each of the benefits that you should be aware of. So it's very critical for you to be aware of this subject thoroughly, because while signing the PPA, you are able to negotiate this risk. And for you to get this knowledge, either do this in-house or hire experts like us so that you don't end up signing a wrong PPA and thus losing billions of money on the table. Thank you so much.